block handy, that's okay. You can use a pillow, or you can do all of these shapes right on the ground if that feels better for you. So let's go ahead and find our way to our seat. I am blessed with a nice air-conditioned studio, and it's hot and frizzy everywhere else. So let's take a few moments here to just come into your practice and center and feel your body and just be on your mat right now. So don't worry about anything else that's going on. Don't worry about any to-do list or anything else that's going on. Just be in your body on your mat and let that be enough. Becoming very heavy in your seat. Feel the sit bones, your legs, everything as it's touching the mat. Relax your shoulders. Maybe open and close the jaw a few times and let that go. You can keep your eyes closed if you like, or you can allow them to blink open. We're just going to take a nice gentle twist over towards the right, starting to find a little bit of length in the spine. So you can put your right hand behind you and lengthen through the spine here, but it's early, so we're just gently kind of finding that length and gently twisting and looking over the right shoulder. So maybe you just look directly out to the right instead of looking behind you like you normally do. And I want you to think about the length in your spine as we move through today's class. So the crown of your head gets a little bit closer to the ceiling. We all get about a ½ inch in height. I can really use it. And then go ahead and exhale. I'm going right to the other side. So using the left hand, allow that to sort of prop you up as you look over towards the left side of the mat. And then come on back through center. And then go ahead and switch out the crisscross of your legs. So just put the opposite one in front, because we've been on one side for a while here. And then bring your hands to your knees, tuck your chin, and just allow your spine to now kind of fold in towards, kind of creating that little hollowed out belly as you sink down into this fold here. So let yourself be heavy. Think of like how you would kind of just like slump down in a chair. And then go ahead and inhale and lift up and squeeze the shoulder blades behind you, kind of peel open with the shoulders towards the front and lift the heart up. So there's a little tiny arch in the back here. Nice. Now go ahead and release those shoulders. Keep the belly engaged here. So pull belly button up and in. You're sitting down on your sit bones, and we're just going to hinge forward from the spine here. So you can walk your hands out in front of your knees and look down at the mat right underneath your face or the floor. So now we have a nice flat back as we're folding. On your next exhale, maybe getting a couple more degrees out of this fold. Lengthen through the spine. Exhale, get a little bit deeper. If you've reached your end point, you just see yourself kind of going a little bit further. And then go ahead and inhale and walk the hands all the way back and back up. We're coming to our mat. So if you have your block handy, bring it with you. Like I said, if you don't have one, don't worry about it. We're just going to come down into a bridge, a little sumo bridge here. So sumo just, kind of looking at the legs. So they're nice and wide here, wider than your hips. And your knees are kind of tracking out over kind of the second toe. So your feet are slightly turned out here. And then you're just going to lift up the hips and slide that block underneath. And you can come onto the lowest of the heights there and keep the feet rooted into the mat. And then start to walk the shoulders so that they're kind of underneath you. You're on the triceps here, so the backs of your arms, feet are rooted into the mat. And once you find your place and your balance here, you can hang out here, or you can just start to pull that right knee in towards your heart space. And if it feels good to you, you can bring the arms around and grab onto the knee. If you don't feel secure doing this, you can keep the arms on the mat and just pull that knee in. And then from here, we're just going to reach that left leg out onto the mat. So you'll probably really feel this through the front of that left leg. And it might even be a bit of a struggle to get that right knee to come in. We're just going to kind of hang out here for a moment. Now go ahead and release that right foot to the mat. So a little bit wider than hip distance, the toes are slightly turned out, and then just draw that left knee in. So maybe just pulling the knee in, and maybe just reaching around the front of the shin here. So I can tell you that when it's early in the morning and I do this exact same shape with the block and everything, I can't get my fingers around my shins. So if that's where you're at right now, that's okay. I've also done a lot of yoga today, so I'm a little bit more flexy than maybe if I hadn't. Go ahead and extend that right leg out nice and long. Start to take that stretch. This is a great stretch if you spend a lot of time sitting. So if you go for a long car ride, now that we're starting to do some traveling again and doing things again, nice. Now go ahead and let go of that left knee. Bring your hands down by your side, and if being on the block as we move into our next shape doesn't feel good for you, you can come onto the mat. We're going to float the legs off of the mat, and then just bring your feet up and your legs up the wall without the wall toes, but you're on a block here. So you guys have been with me through a couple of summers. You know that I love this shape in the warm weather. It just helps to get the blood and fluid that pools down in your feet and your ankles. It gets it circulating again. Just be here for another few rounds of breath. And then go ahead and bring the feet to the mat. Find your way back to that bridge shape. Put the feet on the mat, push the heels in as you lift up and move that block out of the way. And come on back down onto the mat. Pull yourself, your knees back in. Give yourself a nice little side to side. Rock a little. Just kind of take a few fidgets and wiggles here. Nice. Before we go anywhere else, we're just going to take a nice reclined pigeon. So cross the right ankle over the left knee and then pull knee in. Go ahead and release. We're going to switch to the other side. Nice. Go ahead and release. And then you can either rock and roll forward and back, crossing at the ankles, and then coming all the way up and over to your tabletop, or you can roll over to the side. We're all headed to tabletop, hands and knees, for a little bit of back and core strengthening. Taking a few rounds of cat-cow when you get there, anything that feels good, maybe a little side to side, just moving with your breath. Moving in a way that feels intuitive and kind of makes sense to you here. And we're going to go ahead and find stillness. So hands are right underneath your shoulders, knees are underneath your hips. We're going to send that right leg out and then lift that foot up to hip level. Try and flex that back foot and then square off your hips. You can hang out here. This is definitely enough, or you can take that left hand and float it out overhead. So you're still getting the core work if you keep the hand on the mat. If you're focusing on lifting through that kind of mid back range, that's definitely enough. If you don't want to lift that arm, you do not have to. Nice. And then just go ahead and bring that left hand down to the mat. And we're just going to open up into our side angle here. So open up into your gate. Keep that right leg off the mat if you can. Still flexing through that foot. Nice. Find a little bit of length here. And then go ahead and lower that right foot to the mat. We're going to scoop this right hand underneath. Take a nice reach towards the back wall. If you're looking for more core work, you can step back into a side plank here. Inhale, open. Exhale, reach and thread it under. Inhale, stack the hips, stack the shoulders, open up, look up. Exhale, thread underneath. And then inhale, reach all the way up. Nice. Both hands come back down. We're going to come right back to that tabletop. Curl the toes under and find your way up and back into a downward facing dog. So pedaling out the feet, nodding the head, yes or no. We're using this as a stretch. So think about reaching your sit bones up, bending the knees if you need to, dropping the head, pushing the ribs towards the thighs, and then heels come down, relax your shoulders. Next, inhale, look towards the hands and come back down onto your hands and knees tabletop. Let's go right to the second side. So left foot is going to reach out, flex through that foot, zip up the belly. Decide if this is your shape today, or if you want to float the right hand nice and long. Keep pulling up. So imagine that there's like a ball underneath you here, and you have to make space for it. So when you look from the outside, it doesn't look like a lot, but it feels like a lot. Nice, one more breath. And then right hand comes down, open up into your side gate pose here. Keep kicking out through that left foot. Left hand reaches towards the ceiling. Place that foot down and let's thread the needle. So scooping that left arm underneath, lifting up through kind of the hip. Inhale, up and open. Exhale. Inhale up. And then exhale, reach and squeeze. Inhale, lift all the way up. Both hands come down and then step back into that downward facing dog one more time here. Probably a couple more times. I'll be here for about 3 more rounds of breath. So if you want to bend one knee and then the other, maybe just find stillness. Take a look towards the hand. Go ahead and roll forward. Knees come down onto the mat and then lower chin and chest all the way down. We're going to take some little baby cobras to strengthen the back here. Inhale, lift up into a baby cobra. Exhale, lower. Next time we lift up, you might come up onto the fingertips. Inhale. So now there's way more back involved here. Exhale. And then float the hands. And then lower. So go ahead and bring your hands underneath your forehead at the top of the mat. And then we're just going to practice the back half. So lifting the toes, maybe the knees, squeezing the thighs towards each other, lifting off the mat. And then lower. Inhale and lift. And then lower. And then the very last one here, inhale and lift. Maybe get a little bit higher. And then go ahead and release that all the way down. Push back, find your way to child's pose. We're going to be here for a bit, so you've got a few minutes, a few breaths. If it's creating tension to keep the arms out long in front of you, you can bring the elbows to the mat. Just stack your hands. Go ahead and start to walk the hands forward. Find your way into that downward facing dog. Look up towards the hands. We're going to take a whole bunch of steps here. So taking maybe 4 or 5 steps all the way. See if you can keep your hands planted as long as you can before coming up onto the fingertips. And then taking that last little step here and just melt down. And then very slowly root down through the knees, reach the arms all the way up overhead as you stand up. Press palms together at the top, and then hands come to heart center. Checking back in with your body, how are you feeling? Relax your shoulders. Inhale, reach up, press palms together. Exhale, fold and hinge. Inhale, half lift. We're going to step back with the right foot. Keep that right hand on the mat. And inhale, left hand comes all the way up and open. Nice. Both hands come down to the mat. Step forward, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise. All the way up, press palms together. Hands to heart center. We're going to do that exact same thing, second side. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Take that half lift. Step back, left foot, left hand stays on the mat. Inhale, reach up with the right hand. Knee can come down if you want, or you can keep it up. Exhale, right hand down, step forward, forward fold, and then root to rise all the way up. We're going to do that one more time all the way around. Hands to heart center. Kind of come back into your shape before we get going. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Moving with your breath. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, it's one breath as you step back with that right foot, and then inhale up and open with the left hand. Exhale, left hand comes down and step forward at the same time. Inhale all the way up. Hands to heart. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, fold. Find the half lift for your inhale. Stepping back, all on that exhale. Inhale, reach up with the right arm. Both hands come down, and then we're stepping forward, back into that forward fold. We're going to end here, maybe grabbing onto big toes with peace fingers, or if you can get your hands all the way down to the mat, you might consider lifting your toes and stepping on your hands. This is a nice back lengthener here. Nice. Go ahead and release your hands. Inhale, find that half lift. And then we're just going to step back with the right foot. Keep that knee off the mat. You can plant that back foot down if it feels better for you, or you can keep the heel up. That part really doesn't matter today. Inhale, lifting all the way up. Wherever you're at, square off your hips, bend into that front knee, and try not to overarch into the back too much. Nice. As we exhale, we're going to sweep the hands behind and start to hinge forward. Look down at your big toe on that front foot. And then inhale, reach all the way up. Maybe look up. Exhale, hinge. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hinge. And then inhale all the way up. So as we move into this next little hold here, we're strengthening our back. So just start to reach forward with your arms and to hinge. You can hang out right here. This is a lot going on between the lower back, the arms reaching forward, the bend in that front knee. There's a whole heck of a lot going on. You don't need to go any further. If you want to, you can float that back foot off the mat and find your way to your warrior three here. But like I said, there's a lot going on. You don't have to worry about it. Nice. And then wherever you are, if you have that back foot still on the mat, you're just going to open up. Otherwise, you're going to drop that back foot down and open up into your warrior two. And then just kind of sink into it. Nice. Look over that front hand and let's reverse. And we're going to windmill both hands down either side of that front foot and step forward into that forward fold. Ragdoll, just release, kind of sashay one side to the other. Be really heavy here.
Find some length in the spine. Let the weight of the head and the shoulders pull the upper body towards the mat. Release opposite elbows, bend the knees, sweep the arms all the way up. Inhale, lift, and then we're going right back down. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, find that half lift. We're stepping back either into that warrior one or the crescent. I'm giving you a lot of options today. Inhale, reach all the way up. Find your way into that front facing hip pose. And then we're going to flow where we're going. Exhale, like you're pushing through water. Hinge and look down at your mat. Be careful that this right hip doesn't sweep out to the side. You want to keep it stacked right where it is. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hinge. Inhale, reach up. And then hinge. And then reach up. And then last time, so whichever version you did last time, maybe you just reach forward with the arms in front this time. Or if you tried it on the other side, you can take that warrior three. Keep finding the length, little back strengthener, bend the knee, and then find your way into that warrior two. Take your time. We're not in any kind of a big hurry here. Flip the palm, reverse. And then windmill both hands down either side of that front foot, and then step back into your downward facing dog. Head is heavy. Nice, very good. Go ahead and take a look up at the hands. Walk, step, hop, forward fold, top of the mat, melt all the way down. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up, or however you want to get there, all the way up to the top, hands to heart center. And then relax your shoulders. A little bit more balance here before we head to the mat. We're just going to inhale that right knee up and keep it in line with your hip here. And then from here, you're just going to bring your left hand, so the opposite hand, to the outside of that knee, and maybe start to look over that back shoulder. So as you do this, you want to make sure that the hip and the leg don't come with you. You're just looking over that back shoulder. Nice. Beautiful. And then from here, just bring the hand back, keep the knee exactly where it is, and kick that right foot out in front of you. Perfect. You lift a little bit higher, and then both feet come down to the mat. Give it a little shake out. A little leg work today. Inhale, that left knee is going to float. She's very sneezy today. I don't know if you guys can hear that. We're going to bring that right hand to the outside of the left knee, and then just twist and look over the back shoulder. Nice. And then go ahead and unwind to unravel. Hands can go back to either hips or heart center, and then exhale, kick forward with that left heel. And then both feet come down to the mat and shake it out. We're going to find a nice wide stance here. And then exhale, hinge and fold into a wide stance, forward fold. We're going to come to our Malasana shape. If you're not feeling Malasana today or yogi squat, you can go ahead and skip it. I'm going to inhale, find that flat back. Exhale, sink down in between the knees. Try to lift the heart here. So the more you engage through kind of the quads and through the butt, the easier it is. And then hands on the mat, forward fold, turn the toes, and just bump it out side to side. Inhale, half lift. Heel toe your feet all the way into each other. And then exhale for a little bitty toe stand up onto the balls of the feet, bend the knees, sit down, hang out here, or start to bring hands to heart center. If you really want to challenge your balance, you can close your eyes. And then with your exhale, hands or not, we're just coming down onto the mat, into our little seat. And then turning, you're gonna find a little head to knee here. Right foot inside left. Yeah, that's the left. Inside the left leg. Turn so that you're facing those left toes. Inhale the arms all the way up towards the sky. If you know that you can reach your toes, you might interlace your fingers, and then exhale and then just slide the hands down on the other side of the foot. But that again requires a lot of stretching, and maybe you haven't stretched that much today. That's okay. You can keep the arms nice and wide here, and then just bring them to the mat, either side of the foot. The important thing is that this right knee is reaching towards the mat and that you're finding a flat back. However far you get your arms is not, it's kind of not the point. Inhale, find a nice half lift. Perfect. And then we're just going to take this right foot to the outside of the left and find our way to our Ardha Matsyasana, our twist, seated twist. Left arm on the outside of that right knee. Now look out over the back shoulder. And unwind, unravel. And we're just going to find that head to knee, second side. Right leg reaches long, left foot comes to the inseam. Turn, look at that right foot, reach the arms up towards the ceiling, and then hinge, maybe just bringing the arms down to the mat and settling in here. This is enough. The only thing to be gained from going deeper in this pose is more of a stretch. But if you're already getting a stretch, there's no point in going any further. So it's like your sit bones are glued to the mat. Go ahead and find a half lift. We're going to take this left foot to the outside of the right leg and then look over the left shoulder towards the back of the room. Come on back through center, unwind, unravel. Then we're going to head all the way down into your version of Shavasana. So whatever version you like. If you want to go back to that supported bridge and place the block or pillow underneath your hips, you can do that. That feels really good. If you've got some swelling going, you can go up against a wall, or if you have a bolster, you can put your feet up on the bolster, and that feels kind of good. Or you can just take a nice supine or reclined butterfly pose here. If you have
a pretty good amount of flexibility in your hips. You can even bring the arms into cactus arms overhead. But if you try that and your back arches a real lot, then just keep your arms down by your side. But if you can lift, if you've got pretty good core control and you can lift the arms overhead without arching, sometimes it feels really good into the shoulders, through the front of the chest there. And then see if you can come back to that place where we began our practice, where we're just observing, just trying to find a little bit of space. Coming back to your breath. Begin to notice how your breath is showing up for you here. Perhaps it's very deep, very long. Maybe it's shallow and very surface. No judgment, just notice. Continuing to notice your breath as you turn towards one side or the other, heading eventually towards your seat. So taking your time, moving at your pace, and being fully aware of your breath as you move from one shape to that middle shape, and eventually to the seated shape. Once you find your way to your seat, build it from the ground up. Notice the points of your body that are being pressed into the mat. So where is the sensation of pressure? Noticing if it's even from side to side or if there's an imbalance there. Not judging, Not getting swept into the stories. Just noticing. And then taking this power of being the casual observer with you through the rest of your day, noticing how your breath shows up, noticing how you hold your body, how you find your version of posture today as you move through your day. Thank you for joining me on the mat today on this rainy Tuesday. Have a fabulous rest of your day. Namaste.